Hey guys, it's finally come to that deal where I had planned on doing a rubber seal on Mildred on the roof. Somebody else I follow on Instagram, which, man, between Instagram and YouTube, I would not have been able to get through this project. But anyway, so Just Truckin' is their Instagram. I'll post the full length on it or whatever. Is who I saw do this, and his work has been phenomenal. I mean, mine will never look as good as his is. He's gonna have a whole brand new Airstream before it's all done, probably multiple. Anyway, so today is rubber seal day. My tarp tore the other day, and I found out I had a whole bunch of leaks, or at least one big leak, and came home to a puddle in the middle of my floor, which fortunately I had put the new vinyl floor in, so it didn't affect the subfloor at all, which is great. Even though that's been water treated and stuff, it's still, you know, anything extra is great. So anyway, so today, because I need to move Mildred, because I'm having to call in recruits and get some help to build the cabinets and stuff, or I'm never going to get this puppy finished on my own. I'm just running out of time. So anyway, so I've got a friend doing that. Before I move her, I've got to get this roof sealed so that I know that there's no leaking happening. So I've got my supplies. This is the rubber seal that Just Truckin' recommended. I'll put a link to it at the bottom of the video where I've got it off of Amazon, and it's just a liquid rubber waterproofing product. This is in white. I'm probably going to put 2 coats, he said, for his, which I think his unit's a little bit longer than mine. 2 gallons was plenty, so that's what I bought. And about, I think it was like 60 bucks a piece, 60 or 70 bucks a piece, I can't remember. But if it keeps water out of Mildred, then it's totally worth it. I've got my palm sander here, yay Harbor Freight, and then I'm just going to use 20 grit sandpaper to sand it and scuff it up a little bit so that it's got a nice coarse deal to seal to. I've got 1.5 inch painter's tape. I'm going to tape off around the edges. And then of course I'll dust it really good, and then it calls for a 3/8 inch napped roller, and then I've got a sponge roller or sponge brush that I'm going to go and do it in as well. So I'll show the next stage. My situation is not ideal because I found out about doing this after the fact, so I'd already put my Fantastic fans in, I'd already put my solar cables in and stuff like that, so I'm just going to have to go around those. Daisy, shush. I'm just going to have to go around those, but I think that'll be fine. Sorry, I apologize for the dog barking. Just go around it and do the best I can, and then if I ever, I'm not going to be able to get completely underneath my air conditioner unit because of overhang, so I'm going to do the best I can with that. But if I ever replace or when I replace the AC unit, because I'm sure that'll happen sooner rather than later, then I'll go in and put a coat in there, so I'll save whatever I have left and add that later because I think that'll be just fine. But anyway, so that's where I am now. I'm going to get that process started. She's going to stay under the tarp until I get all of that completed and dried. Unfortunately, it covers exactly the area I need because I don't want any sticks or anything sticking to the rubber seal. And then that'll give me a nice heat reflective surface and also give me a nice clean surface to put the solar panels to when I finally get those put in. So that's where I am for now, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Okay, so this is how everything's looking starting out. I'm about to start sanding and taping everything off. So I'm going to probably tape first, sand, and then retape just so I don't over sand areas. I try to do my best to stay in the areas, but like I said, I've got some obstacles to get around that I wish I didn't have to get around, but that's just the way it is. So this is where we are right now, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright guys, so I am at that point. I'm wiping everything down, cleaning it real good. I've got a chamois cloth, well, just mainly because that's what I had, and just some denatured alcohol, and I'm just giving it a good wipe down, hopefully with the intention of getting a coat on here in a little bit. But it's cleaning up pretty good, getting the extra little shavings and dusties and stuff like that off. So that is stage, I guess, what, just 3, 2, something like that. But that's what I'm doing right now. It's looking pretty good. It's all scuffed up, kind of nice and stuff. It's going to be, you know, interesting. I'll have a whole lot more cutting in than I would have if I just was rolling it on with nothing on top. But it is what it is. So it'll all be worth it, and it'll take care of any of these little rivets that are might be leaking. Like I said, I've got some a decent leak in here somewhere. right up here towards the front. Might even be my little speaker up there. I need to glue that in a little bit more. But, so that's where I am at this point. So that's step 3. Okay, so I'm getting the first coat on. It's pretty gloopy, so roll slow, but it just goes on with the roller. I'm gonna go on with a brush around the other, you know, the areas closer in. You know, it's painting, so just like a regular paint job, just roll it on. It's gonna take a couple coats, pretty sure at least 2, but I think I'm gonna be real happy with it. It's going to do awesome things for heat displacement and sealing up any of these extra spots. And I'm going to have to get over on that other side. My ladder situation is a little tricky because it leans away. So I'm just going to keep going with this. I'm okay with it having a little texture. It doesn't bother me at all. Because, you know, nobody's going to see it. He's going to be crawling around on top of my Airstream, right? But it'll be so worth it in the long run as far as taking care of this baby in the long run. So I'll do a final picture when I get the last coat on. It says to try to get, you know, 3 millimeter, 5 millimeter. 5 millimeters a lot. 3 is even pretty heavy. If I'm thinking if it's in any relation to, you know, what I'm used to with a scuba suit. But you kind of see where that's going. I think it's going to look really good. So, all right, that's first coat. I've got to come back and cut in. I just wanted to get a first coat on just to get something solid. And then I'll cut in, get extra detail. You can see here I overlap this a little bit. So it is going to get much thicker. And then I'll come through, cut in around the places that I need to. But I think it's going to be really good. So I've got, this only took 1/4 of a gallon, and I've got 2. So I'm going to use a whole gallon for sure. I might even go for it and do the second gallon. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just sell that other one. So it's too late to send it back to Amazon. So, but so far, super happy with it. Just be careful when you do it. It does splatter a bit, but it cleans up with mineral spirits and good stuff. So I think it's going to be worth the trouble. Well, this is the end of the rubber seal. I put 3 coats. I wanted to make sure it was good and solid. I probably could do a couple more coats, but I don't think it needs it. I think I would be just doing that just for the sake of doing it because I have the product. So this took me 1 gallon. I'm keeping it under the tarp because the trees out here love to drop limbs. So just for safety reasons, I'm keeping the tarp on. But it's feels great. It's not like a sticky rubbery seal, which is nice. So when I have had to crawl up on top, it's nice and flat finished, but it does have a little bit of traction, which is good. So if you do have to crawl on, there's a little extra grip, which is nice. As you can see, I went around my Fantastic fans. I went just past the seam here on each end, just to overlap just as much as I could, and then I went all the way over the seam on the track for the awning, which I'm going to go the old school awning just because, and just why not? I like them. They look good. Probably be a little bit more work than just putting in the other, but you know, it's going to be a 16-foot awning, so it may do it in 2 pieces. I'm not sure, just for the sake of ease of moving things on my own. Anyway, so that's where I am on that. Really happy with it. So I know I at least won't have any leaks from this area. No telling where else I'll find some. I'm sure there are some. And it kind of helps seal up all these little wonky patches that somebody put on prior to me being here, or me owning her. Somebody was not a great driver and took out a window. There used to be a Vista window here. And then they put that little patch there. So they did a number on her, but she looks good from the outside, so that's all good, and she's solid, so that works for me. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.